One thing I learned a long time ago with my teacher Sonia is, if life doesn't feel like it's going in the direction you want, change the story, change it up. And the great thing about tarot cards is that they really actually show the visualization, all the different archetypes that go along the hero's journey. And so we're going to be looking at the beginning with the Fool, and all the way to the completion of the world and everything in between. And so I want you to think to each of these monomyths that we know of in modern times that have been written. Star Wars is one, The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, the Rocky series, I mentioned that in a different video. These are all myths, they're monomyths. They show the arc of how someone is kind of just initiated, thrust into a different path, and how they find who they truly are. That's what we're really all trying to do anyway, right? We're trying to remember who we are, because life has a way of kind of conditioning us into forgetting who we are. And our job right now is to remember how powerful we are, and how important each of us is, and how important each story weaves within the web of this beautiful Earth's collective, and that we all share together, and that we all benefit from when we really just pay attention to it and honor it. So let's talk about the hero's journey, coined by Joseph Campbell. I have the book back there. It's The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And this hero's journey, by the way, is something that I believe happens. It's not just like one big epic long storyline. It is a series within a series within a series. Like, we have these beautiful arcs that start from the departure all the way to the return many times in our lives. Sometimes it might not be as many as for others, but that's the beauty of life. And when you get to be the main character in your life, and you realize how much agency and sovereignty you have choices about even just going for it and going for the adventure. So this is the Fool. Now the Fool is standing on the cliff, taking a few things with him, ready and enthusiastic and excited, and just not knowing what's going to happen, knowing that somehow there's going to be the higher forces that are going to keep him safe and bring about the changes that need to come. And there needs to be a surrendering in that. The Fool is the beginning of the Tarot. It is the beginning of the Fool's journey. It is the beginning of what the hero's journey would be as well. That's where the parallel starts. And as I look at the cards, I grabbed a few to kind of just show you through the major arcana some of the symbolism, which is quite beautiful, to talk about what these stages involve and what they embody. And so the Judgment card is a great one, because it is literally a calling. Something in your life is meant for you, and there's going to be a problem if you don't hear it, pay attention to it, and start to take actionable steps to it. This stage also very often has the Magician. The Magician is where forces that might not seem to make sense in the physical material realm are leveraged, because there's something that behind the scenes that is changing the path forward in a way that wouldn't normally be leveraged. There are angels, there are mentors, there are people, there are fellow journeymen on the path that are there as a way to help alchemize and change up and bring the magic and bring the series of events to come to pass. Sometimes it is a good old-fashioned tower moment, the tower, which means that the structure of one's life at the time needs to kind of crumble a bit and be reinforced with a stronger, more solid foundation, a bedrock that actually works for this time, because we're always evolving, we're always changing, we're always moving forward. And sometimes the foundation gets some cracks in it, and is not able to support anymore. And so that's what the tower would represent. And so these are all part of that departure and initiation as we move into the path of the hero's journey. So the initiation being next. This is where the hero finds the inner resources and the capacity to connect to something greater, the part of them that is greater, the higher self, the soul, the spirit within, to help navigate these challenges. And that's where alliances are formed, and where you and where you kind of meet up with some people that maybe you weren't super excited about meeting, but that were there. They're noble adversaries. They're there to help bridge you to that new version of yourself that you don't even know exists yet, because you're on the path toward it. I like the Moon and the Strength card as two cards in the major that would represent that, because this is where the Moon shows some things aren't illuminated yet. Some things are just, they're illusory, and you're not sure what's happening. It's dark. The Moon there is some light. You kind of have to go within, get your intuition on deck, because you don't know. You're kind of walking in the dark. You don't know. And the strength within you to be able to manage all these obstacles and the challenges that are along that path. But the Moon card, it always shows that the path does take you through the mountains and to the other side of things. And the Strength card also has such beautiful imagery. The infinity symbol above this beautiful woman's head, showing that, the universe, there are forces that are they will never ever leave you. They are there to be tapped into, and we all have it. We all have that. So, and then you get a little bit of the transformation along the way. The Death card, which is, I remember when Sonia said, she's like, this is my favorite. I always thought that was fascinating, and I understand why, because I was learning about the tarot back then. That it is her favorite card of the deck, because it shows like something's done. You've crossed the threshold. There is a rebirth. There's something that needed to completely go. It's a cycle, and life is a cycle in that way. Things need to come and go in order for us to move to the next level of sorts. And as I said, we go back to the return. So the return is where the hero brings back the alchemy of having worked with so many challenges and so much of the unknown, and has found a new level of self-awareness, connection to the self and to the others around and to the collective, which is really beautiful. So to get to the world, which would be that return. And the Star is a healing energy. I want you to think about ways that you can create a new story for yourself as well. And so I do have some practical tips that would kind of parallel and mirror this journey, this arc. Very often we go through these, we go through cycles of time that can feel like, that are difficult to move out of. And then there's a momentum around that makes it very difficult to move out. And I have learned that you need to start with the intention, and with your thoughts, and with your plans, and with what you want in your life, through the power of your mind and through the feeling in your heart. But you need to take the action steps along with it. Things will come to you. The universe will meet you there. But you need to bring all of that in, and not perhaps stay in a. It's very easy to stay in a victim place when things are not going well. It's a constant challenge to be able to move out of that. And that's what I want to offer. If you find yourself in a difficult place, or if you just want to change something for the better and level it up. Okay. So the practical tools I want to offer about how to create a new story. Recognize what is not working. You have to own it. You have to know what it is and get very clear on that. Get quiet. I recommend taking the time to just reflect, and to grab a journal and to write it. Allow your higher self to give you some information about what is going. So the prompt would be, what chapter am I currently living that doesn't feel good anymore, that is not where I want to be anymore, that maybe I've outgrown, even if it's comfortable, but I feel this tug towards something else and I want to move out of it. Ask that prompt, ask the question, get very quiet, put your hand on your heart, ask your spirit, what do I need to know? And write it down. Don't filter it, just allow it to come through you and to be spoken to through you. And and follow up with more questions if you need to. What am I afraid of? Where am I stuck? What do I like? That's good too. But like, where is it that so that we can keep what we like, but where do I need to move through something or move away from something? So once you've done that, that is the beginning, right? That is you're on your way to your departure. The next, I would just listen for the call. And as I said, ask your higher self, what is spirit moving me toward? What adventure is spirit moving me and calling me toward? I guarantee that there are times where you are hearing and you're being pulled towards something and it does not make logical sense. You're just kind of like, nope, that will blow my life up. I'm not interested in that. Or, you just kind of just push it to the side because you're like, I'm just too busy. That would be nice. But if you are hearing a message over and over again, repeatedly, and you are just getting a certain very subtle and then maybe not so subtle indication that is something you need to pay attention to, pay attention to it. And at this time, I would write it. I would write it in that journal. I'd find that it just has to be a notebook, anything, but something that helps you your body loves to be acknowledged, meaning when you hear, you feel, know something is going on, taking a pen or even typing if you wanted to, I don't care, and acknowledging it physically is so good for the clarity within you. What's so interesting is like your body is your greatest psychic receptor. So writing has a way of really tapping into that. So do that. And then in order to cross the threshold, in order to move forward and to demonstrate yourself that you're doing that, maybe create a little ritual. Okay. So again, what I would do is there is a full moon coming up, by the way. It's on May 1st, Friday, May 1st. I'm not sure when this video will be released, but we're in the zone. So full moons are wonderful ways of releasing. So if you want to cross into that threshold, this is a great way to release. So you take your paper, you burn it, whatever it is that you're like, I'm done. Don't want this anymore. I'm ready to move to something else. I would take that paper, burn it, release it, bury it. I've done that in rituals, by the way, too. In order to just to acknowledge to your subconscious mind, to your spirit, to yourself, yeah, something's changing here. I'm ready for a change. So set up your ritual. Set it up, set your candle up, whatever you like in a ritual. I did have a video on rituals. Definitely do it in a way that feels like it is changing something. It is movement forward. And then once you've done that, you can actually go back to your paper, your journal, and start scripting out the next chapter. What is it you want next? You have to own it. You have to claim it. You have to start giving it a vision and voicing it to yourself as well in order to really move into that next chapter. And then beyond that, make sure you commit to one small step that will actually embody that new vision, that new choice. It doesn't have to be a big deal thing. You're like, I'm just going to send out an email. I'm going to, whatever it is. I could give you a million things, but within yourself, there are big jumps and then there are smaller little steps you can take. I'd start with the small step, maybe one or two if you feel like you're feeling really ambitious. But in order to keep it sustainable in your life, start with the small step to demonstrate that you are on a new path. You are doing this. You're moving out of your comfort zone just a little bit, teeny bit at least. Definitely do that. Then when we want to talk about, like, once you've kind of crossed that threshold, there's a wide part of that journey that you need to navigate, the middle of the journey, right? This is where you have your tests and you meet up with things that you didn't believe you might have known were coming at you. Maybe that's when you say, I wish I'd known. Maybe I wouldn't have done this. No, you're there. You are not giving up. You are there. You are doing things to regulate yourself in the middle of difficulties or in the middle of things that might be of a challenge that are exciting, but that can be dysregulating. Sometimes, again, our bodies are just, they pick it up, they hold it, and it's our job to take care of ourselves along the way, always. So find ways that are tools in your toolbox. Again, I've done videos on this about how to manage and regulate your nervous system. Your nervous system, once it gets overwhelmed, it does shut down guidance. It goes into fight or flight, is a survival mechanism. When you go into the sympathetic nervous system, you want to allow your guidance to flow through you freely. So that means getting grounded. That means, and I've given little tips on that as well, that you can go back to. But a quick reminder is that you just imagine yourself from about your hips down, grounded to the earth, through roots, doesn't matter, crystal roots, any symbology that allows you from your body, this beautiful body that is on this earth, to be grounded, to manage the voltage of the energy coming through you. And there is high voltage coming through when you're accessing this intuition within you, this sacred energy that is being given to you, flowing through you. And you just need to ground it into the earth. So ground those roots all the way down to the core of the earth and allow it to just pour through you in a grounded, safe way. That is a way to get yourself back at any time. I promise you that. Between nervous system regulation and grounding, you can get through a lot. You can get through a lot of things that you might not have believed you would. It is practical, I feel, non-negotiable advice that I had to start taking. I didn't believe it at first. I don't know why. Well, because I like to think I could do things the way I want to do things. Like so many of us. But anyway, I don't mess with that anymore. So I recommend you don't as well. So, yeah, that's where I was talking about. I just want to remind myself here, a spiritual practice to ground yourself. Look for community. So look for things that keep structure in the middle of changes. Things that, just kind of, so you don't overwhelm yourself, right? Make sure boundaries are intact. That's something I've also talked about. You're going to need them. When you go on a new sacred journey within yourself that is creating change, a lot of times what's going on around you doesn't always respond to it well. And that's normal because change is scary. People don't always know what's going on with you. But if you stay and you stay certain and you stay steady within that process and hold boundaries so that you know what you're doing in a way that is guided for your highest good and intrinsically and ultimately for everyone else's good around you, you're good. It's all good. So I highly, 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 in fact, I'm going to insist boundaries will be a part of this. You need to check in with yourself first and you need to hold the line. Moving through a new phase of life that reorients you to a higher level of self-awareness it's not for the faint of heart, and it is worth every bit of it. So you have to stay connected to yourself throughout that. Okay, so once you kind of have moved through the greater part of the journey, you're going to navigate that return back, right? And the idea is you're taking back that medicine the things you've learned about yourself, the things that have changed within you, and you want to bring it to others. The beautiful part is that you bring wisdom back. You bring awareness. You bring so much beauty. It's a beautiful thing to have gone through such a dramatic change. It's like the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. It creates. I just find it to be it's just a beautiful experience. It's and people. It's okay if they need to get used to it. But the beauty of it is that you can share. You can share so much of what you got along the way and offer that. And that's the whole point. That is the whole point of this. You become whole. You become much more embodied in the knowledge that you are sacred. You are worthy of this beautiful place on the planet, that you have something to offer, and that everyone does. Every single person does. It changes you for the better. And I just hope everyone has a little bit of a chance to consider that you are the main character. You are the hero. You are you are offering something to this planet by virtue of the fact that you're here that we all need. Every one of us, we need each other. We're stronger when we are together. We are individuals that are all part of the collective, and more than ever, we need to know that about each other and to love each other through a lot of some of the things that are going on out there. I think we all can agree that we are in such changing times that it's our responsibility to know that we can either contribute or we can deconstruct things in a way that maybe isn't as helpful as it really could be. So I'd like to give you a little reading and see where you're at on your hero's journey for everyone watching. And then maybe just a quick little oracle. So this is going to be a quick reading to bring it together. What does everyone want to know? Where are you on your hero's journey? What's the message for everyone watching this? What's the message? Thank you. Whoop, I'm getting some movement here, but too much. So I'm gonna clear it and bring it on back. So yeah, just start thinking about where you're starting. We're just coming out of Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac and the beginning of the new year, astrologically. And there's so much energy of Aries still. And now we moved into Taurus, and which is a grounded energy. Think about where you are. What's changing in your life that you would love to have more ownership over and create a change. Okay. Good one. This one is, first one that jumped out is the Six of Pentacles, and it's about generosity, which is it's about give and take, and being exchanging in ways that are that shows reciprocity and generosity, and that is in flow with each other. People and groups being in flow with each other. So that's what we're kind of talking about, right? Like kind of sharing with that. I'm gonna grab one more. I'm making this a short one, and then I want to grab from the oracle. Let's see if anything else jumps out. Whoops. Okay, that's nice. Oh, actually, two jumped out. Perfect. Okay, so the first one is the Six of Pentacles, as I said. Beautiful card showing generosity, even exchange, reciprocity. We're meant to do that for each other. First to yourself, then to others. And when you do that, it's like that oxygen mask analogy that is always used, like on the plane. You put it on yourself first, and then you give help to others. That's what this card really represents in so many ways. And the Pentacles is a grounded energy. This is earth energy. So we have to be grounded. We have to realize what we can give and what we can't give. And that's a beautiful thing, because the next card is the Ten of Wands. And the wands are fire energy and action and movement. And this guy is holding a lot of them. And he's at the end of he's pretty close to the completion here with the 10. But it can be heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. And you shouldn't have to hold it all. You shouldn't have to hold it all for yourself or for others. There is opportunity for support, because the next one is the Strength card. And again, strength comes from within you. You know what you can hold. You know what you can and what you should and what you shouldn't, honestly. And this is such a quiet inner strength. Because this woman, she's holding the mouth of the lion, barely holding it, and he's succumbing to her inner power, her inner authority, and that's what you have. That's what you have. Always check in with your own resilience, your own strength, your own. And I'm hearing, your own self-determination. It's okay. It's okay to disappoint people, I'm hearing. It's okay to go back to the boundaries, to draw lines, and to allow yourself. I'm here. Okay, so this is really interesting. I think for a lot of you watching, It feels like there's never been permission no permission really granted in a way that was comfortable to use your voice, show your strength, show what you've learned, change. This card is about that. And this is this is one that I pulled out. That's where you're in the middle of the whole shebang when you're on that hero's journey. This is your permission to change course, to change who you are, but not in a way that is false, but to actually return back to who you truly are. That was perhaps pushed down. Yeah, that was not given that opportunity to really bloom into that the true wholeness and person that you were when you came in. Life is it is what it is. We get conditioned out of the remembering of who we are, and our job at this point, again, I say it all the time, is to go back to who we are, the truth of who we are, but from a more elevated, more enlightened, more understanding, more whole place of where we're meant to be, frankly. Okay, so the Hanged Man. This is another major. So the Hanged Man is about a pause sometimes, meaning like you're kind of waiting, obviously, but he's coming from a different perspective from maybe what life offers, maybe on the peripheral bit. Waiting, contemplating. He's got the halo around his head. He's waiting to allow himself the time to integrate what this new information is, what this new perspective, what this download is about the course of his life. And that's really cool, because that all makes a lot of sense when you think about it. You got to give yourself time to integrate changes when you're going through them on this type of epic journey of your life. Changes come. They can come suddenly. They can come slowly over time. But no matter which one, it still requires integration, because we're not meant to our systems are not meant to constantly have to manage that type of energy. We have to give ourselves a chance. Our bodies really need it. And that's why I really, really recommend, if you want to go back to, maybe I'll find the link, for my video on nervous system regulation, or look it up. There's so much information out there. Spiritually, we are being bombarded, and when we go through these just these personal changes, we need to be able to manage it in a way that is not overwhelming. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to take from the Enchanted Map, since we're talking about a journey. Let's see what the map has. I love this deck. It usually offers up something really cool. So let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, nice. Okay. Awesome. So this is the Gentle Gardener, and there's like divine feminine mother spirit energy. The divine mother, it would look like. Just showing, and as I look for, I love this. So there are these eggs, and there are these beautiful little fairy looking creatures coming on out, these beautiful little angel looking little girls, it looks like. Anyway, but this is the Gentle Gardener, and it's a lot like what I talked about. Change can come, and we want to be able to sustain it. So this is where it's like, you don't have to push yourself harder than you need to. Just give yourself a chance to grow at the pace that makes sense. You got when you put something out there and you're ready, it might take longer than you want, but that's usually the best way. If you are not ready, you're not ready. That's the message. You're not meant to do it. You're not meant to go there yet. When you take the right step and things start to meet you, then things start to grow. And that's the right timing. That if something really does kind of bounce out of nowhere and you're called to it, chances are good you're ready for it. But the Gentle Gardener gives you permission to just take your time. Take your time with the changes. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace in those times where it can be, we can be on this hurried path, we think, and the timing always works out. It always works out. And then the next one is spirit of place. And this one is beautiful as well, because it's, the way I always interpret this card is that you take yourself with you wherever you are. And that's why you want to create the best version of yourself for the time that you're in. And life is phases. Everything is a phase. Everything is a journey. And so just be present to it. Love where you are. Find the gratitude and the appreciation and the beauty. There's beauty in this. It's like this beautiful, like, it's like this nature spirit, and she's got all this gorgeous, like, these leaves that are so beautiful, and it's just like, just own the beauty and the messiness of where you are at any point in your life. There, no matter how bad it is, I'm getting this message, which might be specific, but if things are really, really bad or really hard, please just find the one thing and hold on to it, and really, if you journal or if you just sit there and pray about it or meditate on it, just really, really go into the feeling of there's something to appreciate, there's something to be grateful for. That will shift you into a place that you need to be, a better place, if that's what you are kind of wanting to get to, like we all do, right? But sometimes, life has moments that are harder than others, and we have to, no matter what, find that one thing, at least just one thing. I always made the joke, like, if it's been a really bad day, if the one thing you have to be grateful about is that you are in bed and the day is over, got a good cover over you and the pillow feels good, that is perfect. It's enough. It truly, truly is enough, because there's always another day, right? And we want to take advantage as the main character in our lives of what we can create. Change the story. You can change the story at any time. And if you get a little assistance along the way to get you and push you into a new story, then we got the tools. And I do want to do a little further deep dive on this. So if you've been this far with me, guys, so I just want to thank you. If you're interested, check out my website, SoulFinding.com. I am Tanya. I love to read for you. I'd love to go into the deep dive and just see what's going on, right? So please like, subscribe, all the fun things. I always appreciate it so very much. And I appreciate you all very, very much. Very grateful for you at this point in my journey. So hope everything goes your way in a beautiful way, and I'll see you next time. Bye.